This video's topic is process templates. So a process template is a way to save a collection of toolpaths inside SolidCAM and use them repeatedly. It's kind of like a way of copy and pasting a file that you've already created without saving the actual geometry. So let's take a look at how that works. So I have two HSS toolpaths that I've done on the second side of this part, and I'd like to repeat that for a future part, or at least I'd like to repeat that, let's say, for the other side of that part. So what I'll do is I will highlight the toolpaths that I'd like to create a process template from, right-click on there, and I'll go to Create Template. In this case, I need to give this template a name, so let's just say HSS Test. That will save all the parameters from those individual toolpaths, the wall offsets, the floor offsets, lead in, lead outs, anything that I've added to that operation manager specific to each of those individual toolpaths. I can also save the tool data. In this case, I'll do that. So I'm just going to include tool data. And when I click OK, I've created what's called a process template. It's a collection of templates. Now I'd like to add that to this file. So I'll just right-click again on the last operation, and I'll say Add from Process Template. You can see there's my HSS test. It has the two toolpaths that I used to create the process template. So I'll just click OK. And it gives me this window here showing me anything that's common to the collection of toolpaths in the process template. In this case, there is something that's common, the MAC position. Everything else is going to be different between the toolpaths. But let's say if this was some sort of tapping cycle where there's a drill, a spot, and a tapping cycle individually, maybe they would share the same geometry, in this case, the drill point. Maybe they would share the same upper level, let's say the top of the part. So anything that's common to the collection of toolpaths, you're choosing here. In this case, though, the HSS operations, the only thing that's common is the coordinate system. So I'm just going to click OK. It adds those two toolpaths to this file. The red indicates that they have not been fully defined. They're part of the template. So what I need to do is actually go in there and select the geometry. But that's all I need to do. All the other parameters have been pre-selected because I chose it from a template. So I'll just choose the geometry right there. In this case, the geometry was called Faces 2. So if I just save that, my mistake, there is actually a check surface that needs to be included as well. So I'll just say all adjacent faces. Again, all the previous parameters are brought in as well. So the need for a check surface was also brought in. So let me just close that, and I'll open up this one. And in this case, though, I probably did it for the same surface, so I'm just going to go into Faces 2. And in terms of gouge check, whichever was the gouge check for the previous operation. And there we go. So all I did was reselect the geometry. This is a type of function from SolidCAM that allows you to copy and paste a series of toolpaths that you want to, a programming strategy that you'd like to copy and paste to a new file. And you can do this irregardless of the geometry. The purpose here is to save the toolpaths and reuse them over and over again. And all you have to do is either choose the common data, the common geometries, or the common levels, or in this case, just bring in all the toolpaths at once and then reselect the geometry. If you've chosen Include Tool Data, the tool information will be brought as well. So you essentially are just recreating the file with new geometry.